Hello, hello, hi, folks. Welcome. Happy Saturday. In hopes that you squeezed more out of your day than the day squeezed out of you. I am Sean Azimi with SideGigSean.com, where I help you look, start, and grow your online business. Welcome. Wow, what a impactful day, right? Jenny, how are you? Welcome. Good to see you. So I have been absent on social media today, and purposefully I did that. I'm wearing my robe because it's kind of cold, and I turned the heater off. So you know what? We're gonna compromise. And so I'm gonna tell you, it was pretty awesome actually. It was so for those of you who don't know, I signed up for the Great America's Speak Off. I think that's the name. Um, yeah, and it's by Grant Cardone and Peter Vargas. So, and apparently, I didn't know this. Apparently, they had about 50,000 plus people signed up for this. I have no idea how we went from 50,000 to like a couple thousand today. I didn't compete, so I don't know how I was picked to be like 2,000, one of those 2,000 people, but I was. Maybe it was just because I showed up. I don't know. I really don't know how that happened, but we showed up, the 50,000 people, and now we show up at about 8:30, 8:45. And the best thing was, so the yesterday they did this pre-training. I mean pre competition training, right? And what they did is they went around the room. Each of us went, in a group in a room, and each one was assigned a coach, a trainer, and you would go over your 1 minute story, and they would critique you, break it down, and give you some pointers and whatnot. But you know, there's just so many people in the room, so they gotta just go all around. It just came through. Okay, now confession. Let me just be completely truthful. So last year I signed up for this. Last year I signed up for this, and I chickened out. I chickened out last minute. I didn't really know what it was. I didn't know what it was. It just came through my email from Grant Cardone. I guess I think it came through Peter Vargas. Um, but I chickened out. And I didn't tell anybody. I didn't prepare. I didn't do anything. I didn't even check the emails. But this year when it came through, I'm like, you know what? I want to do it. I want to go check it. At least I can go through the training. So when I went through the training yesterday, she said there's a lot of people, this, and she was talking about all this stuff, and I'm like, oh, it sounds kind of cool. Now, the great thing about this is that you get to pitch whatever you want to pitch in front of basically 2,000 people, about 1,000 people. You pitch what you got to pitch. You got to pitch it in a way that you don't say like, go to www and buy this from me. Like you can't pitch it like that, but you can pitch whatever you want to pitch in your 1 minute story, right? So, and I had my 1 minute story. I had it nailed. I practiced so much last night till I slept at 4 o'clock last night, and then I woke up at 7:30 for this. So I am a little a little tired, but I practiced so much because I wanted to be under 1 minute, right? And so We went through. I got to share my story. Man, I struggled. I'm not gonna lie. I stuttered so much, and this I didn't pause where I pause usually. I just wasn't. I know it didn't sound like as moving as I thought it was. Like it was moving the day before in the training. So I really goofed up. I really goofed up. But somehow I got into what they have. They pick. Okay, so from all those people, they pick. I think they picked. I don't know how many people they picked from, because we were down to from like 750 people. We went down to like 450 or 500 people, and they picked a few to go in a round called the ticket, if you would. So you can do a golden ticket and win, right? You can win your way into the semifinals. Now, I'll share with you this whole thing is all about and stuff and how it can help you. But so the golden ticket, the way it works is that it's literally by lottery. You're just sitting there for your name to be called out, and I didn't get called out, and I didn't get called out, and it was, I'm making all kinds of gestures on camera. People are jumping up and down. You know what I mean? Trying to get attention. It was kind of fun, but so so what is this all about, right? So you get to share 1 minute, and this is all about your story. So imagine yesterday we had, I want to say 100 people in the room, in the training room, and everyone, 100 people minus me, so 99 people, I heard 99 stories in just one day, right? And the coach was breaking it down and critiquing it. Say this, don't say that, eliminate this. You want to focus on this to everybody, right? So much in there, right? And you guys know that I am a big fan of stories. I'm a big advocate for stories, and I always say stories are meant to be shared, not stored. In fact, I said that yesterday. Yeah, yesterday in the training, everybody loved it, right? Everybody loved. I goofed up today though, but so 99 stories broken down. Say this, don't say this, and then I'm sitting here thinking, well, I got a pretty good story. Like I got so much stuff going on, right? And then you hear these stories, you're like, what? Like some of these stories are unbelievable, like incredible. Like I was just on the chat saying, my God, I can't believe I'm part of this. Like I'm hearing all these stories, incredible stories, right? And then today you get in and then you got your pitch, right? So you're gonna go, you got the clock, you got 1 minute, and the judges are sitting there just like staring at you, watching you. And then you got your 1 minute, and there's about a room that was, I'm gonna say about a 200, 250 people. And that's how many stories you hear. More. These are brand new stories, right? So these are not the same from the day before. So all I heard today was all these different stories that are unbelievable, right? I heard from people that have no idea what speaking on the stage is all about, like literally are clueless. They're like, what stage? Oh, I thought this was a class. Like some people were lost. There were people that were so good at what they were talking about. There were people that were speakers. There were people that were authors. There were people that had a message to share, right? And the experience was pretty amazing. I'm not going to lie. I'm so glad I went, and I attended. However, next year, um, I'm going to be extremely prepared. I am not going to go in like I went in today. Had I known what I know now today, um, yeah, I wouldn't have gone in today. I got so many good. I took so much notes, man, from stories and stories from coachings and stuff. I took so much notes. And one thing I was going to tell you is, if you're going to get into the speaking world, like literally speaking on the stage, not just like maybe for 5 minute on your company stage, but if you really want to like speak on the stages, I mean, this competition was to get on. Just to give you let me just to give you an idea of what competition this is. There's like 50,000 people, and then out of those 50, I think we were a couple thousand people, right? And I have no idea how we got to 2,000. So let's say from 50,000 to 2,000. From that 2,000 today, and this is from like all these different rooms and everything, they're gonna have 150 people at the semifinals, and semifinals is going to be in, I believe, in Florida, right? In front of thousands of people. You get to pitch your product, your opportunity, your book, your movie, your song, your whatever product, whatever you want, in front of hundreds of thousands of people. This is what you're competing for, right? 150 people. And out of those 150, he picks 3 people that will get on Grant Cardone's stage. Now, if you know Grant Cardone, that's a multi-million-dollar stage, because what that means is that it's a multi-million-dollar event to put together, and which means there's a lot of quality people who come to that event. So when you're on that stage giving a presentation, sharing your product and opportunity, you got, I mean, the stats that they were throwing out, it was unbelievable how people have changed their lives from just right. So that's what you're competing for. I didn't know all that stuff. I felt like uh, this is something for you to learn, and for me to definitely keep. Um, I want to be a speaker, right? That's what I want. Today I realized what a world. It is not an easy gig. Today I realized after 2,000 lives, I still have a hard time speaking for 1 minute in front of people. Today I realized that I was not alone. First of all, there was 2 other people who stuttered in the group, which was amazing. I love that. Um, yeah, it was great. It was great to see them. And so after 2,000 lives and like talking right now and just having a great time, I froze up. I can get the first word out. My first word got stuck, and it it almost took me back, and I had to struggle to get back up, which was kind of. And then at one point, I calmed myself and I started to go, but it was kind of too late already. You only got 1 minute. Um, so I realized that it's not that easy to get on that stage. When you really get on that stage and you have a message to share, and you get nervous, you freeze up. It just tells you maybe that the how important it is to share that message. It actually tells you that it's more important than you think, right? But today I thought to myself, I'm like, you know what? I mean, I'm seeing everybody. You have to be on camera, no breaks. It was from 8:30 to 5 o'clock. Literally no breaks. You could get up and go eat something, and they recommend that, but you cannot turn off your camera, otherwise you're out. Um, so it was just pretty strict with this stuff. No breaks at all, none, which was pretty crazy. Like everybody just because there's just so many people and that got to get through these stories, right? Everybody's got to share these stories. So I realized that it's not that simple. You know, it doesn't take. Um, you can't just get on any stage thinking you're prepared. See, I thought I was prepared. I've done so many lives, right? But when it came to telling my own story, this is what I'm trying to get to. When it came to telling my own story in 60 seconds, I froze up. I couldn't tell my own story in 1 minute or less in a way that would really move the audience and the judges. My own story, my own story, not somebody else's story. I tell great stories. You guys tell me I tell great stories. Apparently, I suck at telling my own story, which means, sometimes, we just don't really know how good our story is and how we should tell it. These past 2 days, I learned how important it is to learn if I were to draw attention to the number one, yeah, to the most important thing that I think it's number one on the list after these 2 days is, and I hear this from leaders out in the field, right? You hear this all the time, but it didn't really like sink in until these 2 days. You got to be able to tell your story. You got to tell. So, what I learned today, this is what I picked out for myself. This is my takeaway. Okay. I got so many pieces to my story. There was a lady. How long have I been talking for? Oh my goodness. I've been talking for 18 minutes. All right. I'm going to go short. I thought I was going to go short. There was a lady that had so many things happen to her, like boom, 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 right? And she's trying to squeeze everything in like 1 minute. And finally, the judge says, after the minute, because they do give a feedback, a quick feedback, um, said that you got to pick just one. See which part of your story is relevant with the audience and see which one the audience will connect with. And then tell that story in a way that will move and inspire the audience. So I don't have to list everything I've gone through with every person I talk to. Do you understand that? That's so big. I don't have to say I had 38 jobs, I've had 7 surgeries, I'm a cancer survivor, I've lived in 18 different addresses, I've been in 6 different companies, I've been bankrupt. I don't have to say all that because it's like after a while, people are going to get lost. So you got to be so good in understanding your audience, picking your audience's mind, if you would, and see which part of your story is the one that is actually going to connect with that audience. Like, for example, if you're talking to single moms, right? single moms who were abused, let's say. You're talking to that's your audience, right? Versus, let's say, where how can we go? Let's say versus um, you're giving a talk in front of a juvenile center for guys. It's like two different audience, right? You wouldn't be talking about the same things. It just one group wouldn't get the other group. Like they'd be like, "What?" Right? So understanding what the audience wants, the pain, and then picking out from where you are, what you've gone through, picking out that pain, and then you discuss that pain, and then you give that solution and the way you came out of that pain. I talked about it yesterday. It's like nobody wants to know. Everybody wants to know, okay, well, that's great. You had a rough time. Nobody wants to know you got stuck in that rough time. Like no, nobody wants to know after 5 years you come back. You're like, well, how you doing? You're like, oh man, I'm so. It's like, dude, I don't hear that. Nobody wants to hear that. But after 5 years, if they come back, how you doing? And you're like, I did this. I wrote a book. I'm doing amazing things. I started a business online. I'm helping people. I'm traveling, and you're like, whoa, how did you do that? Nobody's gonna ask you, how did you stay with your crappy life? That's simple. I didn't do anything. I didn't change anything. That's how I stayed the same. Everybody wants to know how you got out of that situation. So, very important. And I love the ideas and the hook words, if you would, that they introduced that you can share in your story. And I'll share those with you guys. I'm reading my some of those words. This was amazing. But what's important is that you understand that, hey, it's great that you've gone through all this stuff. You just don't have to unload everything on one person when you're talking to them, right? You don't have to go down the list. Just pick one and stick with that and then connect on that point. So that's, I could talk about today and yesterday for a good few days worth of lives, but that's a very important point that I picked up from all these different stories that I heard. Some of them, my jaw literally dropped. Just crazy. When you think you heard one, you're like, okay, that was good, right? That was, and then you get the next one, and you're like, oh my god. People are crying and people are laughing. So pretty moving 2 days, and it tells you the importance of your story. The messages in the story, the story. Like I told you a story about these 2 days, about this whole thing, and you're gonna get some value from it. You're gonna, if that's your profession, if that's what you're looking for, right? So share the story, man. Share this. The stories are meant to be shared, not stored. So hopefully you guys get some love, some value, some inspiration from this. I had fun, even though I didn't advance, even though I was sweating. Okay, can I tell you? I'm gonna, because I know some people who are in the stuttering groups are gonna watch this. I want to tell you this. A lot of you, um, see me and say, "Well, this guy doesn't stutter anymore," right? I'll tell you this today. My hands were really sweaty. Okay. I was at one point actually shaking. No joke. I was shaking and I was really nervous. The more um, I realized how incredible this opportunity could be, the more nervous I got. That's the truth. And and it showed in my speech, you know. So even though I had practiced, and when you, I didn't do it the way I would really prepare for something. So next time I'm not gonna go in like this. But what I was gonna say, I was nervous. My hands were sweaty. I was shaking. I was cold and warm at the same time. It was crazy. And this is after doing 2,000 lives. I want you to know that it happens, right? So that's with my day today. I didn't post anything at all today because after it was done, I made something to eat, and I was just going through all these little stories I made notes on, you know, and just going through some of this stuff, and some of this stuff it just like blows your mind. I'm not looking for a break. I am looking for a breakthrough. It's so good. Somebody had the letters of alphabet all lined up, and she had come up with a positive word starting with each letter, and for herself, and she would read it every morning and every night. How cool is that? I hope you guys get some love, some inspiration, some value from this. Drop a couple takeaways. You can do this. Drop a couple takeaways down below. Let this feed grow. I appreciate you guys. And if you feel like this is worthy of sharing, tag. And with that, I am Sean Azimi in my robe because it's cold. I am Sean Azimi with sidegigshawn.com, where I help you look, start, and grow your online business. Signing off until tomorrow when we do it all over again. Much love.